Well, hi, Light and Life, Hale and Penzance down there in the Wild West. Welcome to the Big Smoke. I'm in Tesco's car park in Southampton. Some of you I know well, some of you I know a little bit. Some of you are probably looking at your screens saying Bruce Willis has aged really, really well. So it's amazing to have this opportunity to take a few minutes just to give you something of my reflections as an evangelist about the moment that we are in, which is obviously unprecedented, stressful, anxious for a lot of us. But as we look in the Bible, there have been a number of occasions where we can hold up our experience of isolation with characters in the Bible. Noah did it in a boat. King David did it in a cave. Jonah did it in a fish. Jesus did it in a desert. But the thing that I want to focus on for a few minutes is the disciples who did it in the upper room, this rented room. And sometimes when I read the accounts of Jesus, the miracles, the one-on-one encounters that I like to describe them as, Zacchaeus, Bartimaeus, the thief on the cross, the woman in adultery, and of course the list goes on. And I find myself preaching the gospel into those stories quite a lot. Now, with those situations, and similar to the disciples in the upper room, I seem to have this knack of being able to imagine myself in the story. And I really encourage you to do that over the next few moments. What must it have been like for those guys, this roller coaster experience that they'd been on? And they'd been with Jesus for 3 years. They'd seen the sick healed and the dead raised and the lonely loved, and been part of this embryonic expression of the church. And then they lived through the devastation of the Last Supper and the trial of Jesus and the death of Jesus, and then the resurrection of Jesus. And of course they are overjoyed to then see Jesus appearing to them, the resurrected Jesus, a number of times. And then the ascension takes place, and Jesus says his final words to his disciples are these: go to Jerusalem and wait for the gift that is coming from God. And I would imagine that for a lot of these guys, this whole kingdom of heaven thing is pretty much ground to a halt. Sure, they are overjoyed to see Jesus, but they're ordinary people, you see. They're not superstars. They're not Christian celebrity A-listers. These are very ordinary guys who have been plucked out of obscurity by Jesus from their daily jobs, and they've lived the dream quite literally for 3 years. But now I would imagine that some of them are thinking about popping down to the shores of the Galilee, of the Lake of Galilee, and maybe putting in an offer in a second-hand boat and resurrecting a flagging fishing career. And so we find them self-isolating in the upper room, and only an intervention from heaven is going to stop this dream from dying. And then suddenly, just as Jesus had predicted, the wind blows through the room and the windows are blown out of the building, and in the blinking of an eye they are transformed from hopeless wannabes at the end of the Gospels to the fearless carriers of the gospel that would turn the world literally upside down and would be the pioneers of what we call the church, that was, as I say, in embryonic form when Jesus was with them. But now they are charged with the leadership of a movement of people that is literally going to go across the world. And the thing is, you see, the temptation is for us to think, well, that was then, but this is now. But what I want to say to you is this, and I'll close with these thoughts. This is not their story. This is your story. We are in a seamless transition right back to the days of Pentecost and the early church, where this group of men, and then many women added to them afterwards, were the carriers of the gospel of the kingdom of God. And they went on to do things which mirrored the ministry of Jesus. And the Romans and the Jewish authorities, they are about to find out that Jesus was far more dangerous dead than he ever was alive, because he had put something in the hearts of those men who then carried that flame across the face of the earth at tremendous personal cost, and it has never stopped since. So as we are in this period of self-isolation, as you look at the examples that I said, and there are many more in the Bible, there was always the sense that the DNA of what was to come was being written in that time of isolation. Light and Life, you guys are so close to my heart. Penzance and Hale, I want to say God bless you, every single one of you, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.